What's up guys, Anthony Pete, New York Muscle Radio, and today we got a real special treat for you. This is going to be a replay of one of the best contest prep videos I put out. This video is actually a couple years old. It covered my contest prep from 2011 from beginning to end. It has everything from training, nutrition, supplementation from start to finish. It's a little bit old, but I definitely think today this is still the best guide out there, so I'm sharing it with you guys here today. So enjoy the video. Also, be sure to check out NewYorkMuscleRadio.com for brand new podcast episodes on brand new topics. Be sure to check out our ebook, Cracking the Flexible Dieting Code, which is available in audiobook version also, and is sold exclusively on NewYorkMuscleRadio.com. That guide will show you how to eat with flexible dieting, and show you how to get to your results a lot faster. So this is, again, Anthony Pete, New York Muscle Radio, and we're out.
The number 67, Pete Khatcherian.
What's going on, guys? In this video I'm going to go over what my exact contest prep diet looks like. A lot of people ask me, what do I do to get ready for a show? What does my diet look like? What does my cardio regimen look like? I'm going to cover all that in this video, starting with diet, my nutrition, my supplementation, and my cardio regimen. First of all, I just want to note that in both the off-season and contest prep, I follow flexible dieting. I don't want to call it if it fits your macros because people just assume right away that that means that I eat ice cream, candy, and cake all throughout my contest prep. No, I eat nutrient-dense foods. To me, flexible dieting just means I can eat foods that I'm in the mood for that day, and I don't have to stick to the same exact foods every meal. So if I'm in the mood for turkey instead of chicken, I'll do it. If I feel like eating eggs that day, I'll do it. If I don't feel like eating eggs, I'll just have some steak. I might have something else that I'm in the mood for that day. That's all that means to me. So while that's the most important part of the diet, for this contest prep, I followed a meal plan of 5 meals and I spaced them out every 3 hours. But it wasn't every 3 hours exactly. That's not as important as getting in the 5 meals and the total macros of the day. So some days it might have been 3 to 4 hours, some days it might have been 3 hours exactly every meal. But it was 5 meals every single day. That's pretty much what I do in the off season as well for the most part. In addition to the 5 meals, I did supplement with branched chain amino acids between every single meal. So usually about an hour and a half after each meal, I'll have half a serving of BCAA powder. I personally like Extend. That's what I use during this prep. So now before I go into the exact macros of the diet, I'm going to show you some starting pictures here. This was at 181 pounds. This was at the end of my off season. This was right when contest prep started. So as the off season came to an end, my calories were about 3,500 calories a day, and that consisted of 215 grams of protein, plus a little more in branched chain amino acids. Carbohydrates were at 500 grams a day, and fat was at 75 grams a day. So like I said, about 3,500 calories there. Now this is 16 weeks out at 181 pounds here. So at the start of my diet, this was the macronutrient breakdown I started with. 225 grams of protein, plus about another 25 to 30 that I would be getting from branched chain amino acids, which puts me at about 1.4 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Carbohydrates, I basically cut in half. I started them at 240 grams, and fat, I lowered it to 60 grams a day. So that's a total of 2,400 calories there. So I pulled basically 1,000 calories out of my diet alone. Now most people say that's very aggressive, but I'm all in favor of being aggressive when you can afford to do so. And what I mean by that is, now I'm coming off of an off season where I'm eating 500 grams of carbs a day. Now cutting them to 240 is a big drop, and that is a lot of calories removed from the diet, but I'm also counteracting this by twice a week having high carb days or refeed days where I do bring my carbs back up to 400 grams. So twice a week, my carbs are almost back to off season levels. Now in addition to the diet, my cardio regimen I started with was 2 high-intensity interval training sessions a week, and both of those were at 10 minutes total. That's it, 10 minutes of high-intensity interval training. In addition to that, I did 2 low-intensity cardio sessions. Those were at 100 to 120 beats per minute, which is basically nothing. It's just you moving along. You really don't even need a heart rate monitor to get up to that level. Now the plan I just described to you, I followed week after week, and that helped me lose about 2 pounds on average each week until I got to 12 weeks out. So for 4 weeks straight on this diet plan, I basically lost 2 pounds every single week. So now at about 12 weeks out, my weight was down to about 175. It got stuck here for about a week. I couldn't really break the 175 barrier. So the first change I had to make to the diet to keep my fat loss moving along was dropping carbs another 20 grams a day. That's all you really need to do to keep fat loss moving. If you're already losing 1 to 2 pounds a week consistently and it stalls, that means you only need to make a small change to your diet. So usually something like 10 to 20 grams of carbs a day less will make a huge difference. So at 12 weeks out, I lowered carbs to 220 grams a day. That also came out of my refeed days, so 3 feed days were down to 380 grams a day. And again, things kept moving along consistently, about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds a week in fat loss, until around week 6 came when I got stuck at 166 pounds for 2 weeks. Again, because I was consistently losing weight and I had stalled, only a small change was needed. So I dropped another 20 grams of carbs out of my diet here. So now carbs were down to 200 grams a day on low days and 360 grams on high carb days, which was twice a week, remember. In addition to this, because I was getting closer to the show, I did increase my cardio as well. So the 2 low intensity sessions of 20 minutes, I bumped up to 30 minutes a session. And the 2 high intensity interval training sessions at 10 minutes, I bumped them up to 15 minutes. So that's 5 more intervals to each session. So now my total cardio regimen at this point was 2 half-hour low intensity sessions and 2 15-minute high intensity sessions. Carbs were at 200 grams here. So although I'm 6 weeks out, I'm pretty lean. The diet was still not extremely low in calories and cardio was not excessively high either. As expected, this moved everything along well again, all the way down to 3 weeks out when I hit 163 pounds. At this point, I'm basically within the final 2 to 3 pounds of show weight. So this is where the body really starts to fight you here. But at this point, it wasn't totally necessary to go crazy with the diet. So just to lose the final 2 to 3 pounds, I dropped my carbs on my low days from 200 grams to 190, simultaneously increasing the 30-minute sessions of low-intensity cardio to 35 minutes. That's all that was needed at this point. And within the final 3 weeks, I went down to 160 pounds. So entering into peak week, my final macronutrients were protein 225 grams a day, carbohydrates 190 grams a day, fats 60 grams a day. All with 2 sessions of 35 minutes of low-intensity cardio and 2 sessions of 15 minutes of HIIT cardio. I was down to 160 pounds from 181 pounds over 16 weeks. Now this photo here was the day of the show, and after I went through my whole peak weekend depletion, I was actually down to 159.8 or so pounds, so I did dip under 160 pounds temporarily. After filling back up through peak week, I got on stage here at 162 pounds. Now the topic of peak week is a whole nother video altogether, which I'll get to in the future. But everything I described to you here is exactly what I did from the start of the contest prep at 16 weeks out all the way up till the day of the show. As you can see, it's not overly complicated. Going super low carb is not always necessary, and you don't have to do ridiculous amounts of cardio. However, the only way any of this is possible is if you maximize your off season. Like I said, I started this diet eating 500 grams of carbs a day. So 190 grams of carbs is a lot less than 500, but then again, it's not very low. Only possible if my off-season carbs were very high. So don't be afraid to bring your carbs up high in the off-season. It's setting you up for a very optimal contest prep. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please like it. Please subscribe to the channel. I'll have more videos to come soon.